Well, I think a lot of people are scared to ask because they're emotionally attached to that outcome. So they're worried about getting a yes or no.
Yeah.
And it's all about just getting a yes or no. To give you an example, and this just teaches you to have value in your conversation. I want to give an example of someone I talked to recently. She was telling me that she had 19 conversations and only got 3 sales. And people would say, wow, that's a horrible close rate. And I said, well, no. How much did you make off those 3 sales? And she said, I made $1,300. So, okay, wonderful. Well, let's take the $1,300 and divide it by the 19 conversations. How much was that? And she goes, $72 a conversation. So in reality, every time you talk to someone, someone's paying you $72. So right now, if I walked behind you and told you I'd pay you $72 for every person you talk to, regardless of what they say, how many people would you talk to today?
I talk to a lot of people.
Yeah, you talk to a lot of people. And that's because you're not emotionally attached to the outcome. But in reality, that's what you're doing when you have conversations. People aren't successful in their business because they don't talk to enough people.
Totally, yeah.
It has nothing to do with what the outcome is.
That is the biggest stumbling block that I run up with. And that's why, of course, why we're sharing this with you guys, with you is that it's just getting people to have enough conversations. Whether we're doing online marketing or grassroots, at the end of the day, it's just numbers, it's math, it's repetition, it's getting more conversations, but it's the fear that holds them back. And I think what's cool is for you to look at it in this way, that it's not about that individual person and being attached to their outcome. Instead, it's just getting more reps in, more people, more conversations.
Yeah, and there's a way to train yourself to detach yourself from outcomes. And I usually use a deck of cards to do it.
All right.
I always tell people, how many cards in a deck of cards? How many cards
52.
are there? 52. How many aces in a normal deck of cards?
4.
4. So not 3, not 5, but 4. So I think what's critically important is, if you look at the 52 cards as 52 conversations, you're guaranteed 4 every time. So I always tell people, shuffle the deck and start flipping the cards until they get an ace. Being a professional in what you do is about sorting, not convincing. And you're sorting for the right client. So if you're guaranteed after X amount of conversations to get X amount of yeses, right? So the illustration with the card is 52 to get 4. Then what happens is you start sorting through the cards to look for your ace. And when I've had people do this exercise, I tell them pay attention to their emotions. What usually happens is they flip 2 cards to get an ace, they get excited. Oh, I got an ace. I got my sale. And then, so I tell them, write that down. And I said, keep on going. Once it goes over 10 cards, you watch their face and their tone change. And they flip with a little bit more attitude because they're really looking for that ace. But why should it change if you know there's 4 aces? You're guaranteed. You need to find your number. And each person's a little bit different based on their sales skills and their offerings. But once you understand your number, then each card has a dollar value.
That's good. I mean, I think that this addresses what I got a friend that calls it commission breath, where it's like when you need the sales so bad that you're desperate, and it's like your prospect can feel that, and the way that you're trying to sell it instead of just authentically going through like a process like this. And I mean, for me, I'll never forget my most vivid example of this was when I was selling real estate and I was $50,000 in debt. So I mean, I would have a meeting with a homeowner to get the listing of the house, and it's like I'm thinking of all the bills, I'm thinking of everything, and I'm thinking how bad I need that yes right then and there. And I was so attached to the outcome that it was just like, I'm sweating bullets, you know what I mean? I was just like trying to do everything I could to get the sale. And what was interesting is I just needed to have more conversations. If I put more energy into just getting more of the appointments and detaching, I think I would have had a lot more success at that point in my life. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you want to do the exercise?
Absolutely. You want to do so the exercise that we want to do is about having control of a conversation and knowing the end result.
Okay. Cool. Let's do it.
So I'm going to pull a card, okay? And we're going to show everyone the card. All right? Now, I'm going to take this card and I'm going to place it on your lap.
Okay.
Okay? Now, you have, do we have a pen and paper we can get real quick? You got that?
Boom. Trust
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions and we're going to find out where we end up. All right? So using the numbers, Nick, 2, 4, 6, and 8, say two of the numbers out loud.
4 and 6.
Okay. So using 4 and 6, say one of them out loud.
6.
So it leaves you with the number
4.
4. Can you write that down?
Yep.
Hearts, diamonds, spades, and clubs. Say two of the suits out loud.
Diamonds and hearts.
So it leaves you with?
Clubs and spades.
So using clubs and spades, say one of them out loud.
Clubs.
Okay, write that down. So you were left with the number
4.
and you picked the suit of?
Clubs.
Turn that card around.
What?
You know?
That's
I'm
crazy.
ask you, who picked that?
My first reaction is that I picked it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what you want your customer to feel. You want your customer to feel like, I made this decision.
Yeah.
But in reality, I've picked it.
Okay.
So what I train people to is I can actually write almost a full paragraph down and just have a normal conversation with you and almost get you to say the full paragraph verbatim throughout our conversation. And so I think it's really understanding how to lead people down the right path.
Yeah.
Asking them questions where they feel that they're making the decisions. It's not
Nice.
manipulation. It's really honestly being attuned with your client and to be able to ask the right questions.
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
How on earth did you do that? So how did the card trick work?
So how does the card
Yeah.
trick work? Well, you got to give me a call to learn that one.
That'll be a bonus section. But that's cool. And I mean, the overall, the whole point of it is you're in control.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what's really cool is coming into it. If you're not attached to the result, and if you're in control and you've got the right audience, then you can get an increase in sales so okay, cool.
And I would say, I really believe this with all my heart. Women are the best at this. Okay? Because you ever felt like you made a decision and you thought it was your decision?
Oh yeah.
Well, we know whose decision it really was,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's about understanding, in a conversation between client and business owner, I guess you would say, or salesperson, it's if I get my client to say it, it's true.
Yeah.
If I say it, my client feels it's suspect.
Right.
So if I say you really want to increase your income, you could say that.
Like, yeah.
But I'm putting that in your mouth.
Yeah.
But if I ask you, so if you were to increase your income, what would you want it to be?
I'd like to have it be about $500K a year.
All right. So what I've done
Net.
there is let you tell me where you want to be.
Yeah.
So I'm now, but on my mind, it was about increasing income. Didn't matter the number.
Right.
So that's what you're learning. If you were to make a change, what would it be? Those type of questions is getting your customer to really say what they ultimately want,
Okay.
not you telling them what they want.